So, good morning, and we are now studying unit number 4. That is basics of phytochemistry, and there we already studied about various spectral techniques. In the previous two videos, you already seen about different spectral techniques that were employed in the analysis of phytoconstituents, and they are UV spectroscopy, IR spectroscopy, NMR spectroscopy, mass spectroscopy, etc. that we already completed. Okay. So two or three more things were remaining in this topic, and the next one is chromatography. After chromatography, you have to study about different extraction techniques, and finally about electrophoresis. Okay, so these are the different things that you are going to study under this unit, and we already completed various spectral techniques, and today we'll be seeing about chromatographic techniques. Okay, so today we'll be seeing about chromatography. Clear? And this is part 1. And chromatography, what are the things that you are going to study is first is about introduction to chromatography. So you have to study a slight introduction regarding chromatography. Okay, some introductions are there, so that you have to study about chromatography. That's the first thing, that is introduction to chromatography. So what is chromatography, who discovered chromatography, and some other things, basic principles about chromatography, etc. So these are the things that you are going to study under this section, that is introduction to chromatography. Next thing is different chromatographic techniques. So chromatography is a very big unit, and you will be studying in detail about this in your analysis classes also. So that is different chromatographic techniques are there. So the various chromatographic techniques that we are using in phytochemistry are, so paper chromatography, thin layer chromatography, then HPLC or high performance liquid chromatography, then HPTLC or high performance thin layer chromatography, then column chromatography, flash chromatography, etc. So these are the different types of chromatographic techniques employed today. So these are the things you are going to study under this unit. Clear? So first we can see what is chromatography. So എന്താണ് chromatography? അതാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഇവിടെ കാണുന്നത്. Clear? So chromatography is a technique of separation of mixture. Okay, so it is a technique of separation of mixtures. Mixtures means you already knowing that it will be having more than one type of particular component. Clear? So if a substance is having more than one type of component, then that can be known as a mixture. And chromatography is a basic technique which involved in the separation of mixtures. Clear? So mixtures in the particular ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു component separate ചെയ്യുന്ന പ്രോസസ്സിനെയാണ് chromatography എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. So it is a technique of separation of mixtures. Clear? Now, next point is, this technique was first introduced or invented by the Russian pharmacognosist, and name of the person is Mikhail Zvet, and he invented this technique in the year 1901. Clear? So chromatography is a technique of separation of mixtures. Okay, and this technique was first introduced by the Russian pharmacognosist Mikhail Zvet in the year 1901. Clear? Okay, and chromatographic techniques are widely used for the analysis as well as separation of natural products. So we are studying about natural products, and it means they are the products which are obtained from natural sources like plant, animals, marine, mineral, etc. And this technique is used for the analysis as well as separation of natural products. So here analysis means it is used for finding out the purity, percentage determination, etc. of natural products, and also this technique is generally or straight away employed in the separation of natural products. എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലായോ? So plants already means I already told that plants are biochemical laboratories. Lot of chemical constituents are present there. So from that constituents, first we are extracting, and this extract will be having lot of chemical constituents. And from this, if you want to separate a particular one type of component, then you have to go for this chromatographic technique. അതിനെയാണ് ഇവിടെ separation എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. So chromatographic techniques were widely used for the analysis as well as separation of natural products. Clear? Sorry. Now the next point is, in chromatography generally two phases are there. So two phases are there in chromatography. So here the substance is dissolved, or it is distributed between two phases. That is, two phases were there in chromatography. The first one is a stationary phase, and second one is a mobile phase. One is a stationary phase and second is a mobile phase. Clear? So two phases are there in chromatography. One is a stationary phase and the second one is a mobile phase. Clear? So Chromatography is the technique of separation of mixtures from a particular substance. Clear? And this technique was first introduced by the Russian pharmacognosist Mikhail Svet in the year 1901. Clear? Then chromatographic techniques were generally employed in the analysis as well as in the separation of natural products. Okay, and two phases were there in a chromatography. So first one is the stationary phase and second one is a mobile phase. That is, here the components are distributed between two phases. One is stationary phase, that's a stagnant phase or a permanent phase, and second one is a mobile phase, it's a moving phase. Clear? So every substance in chromatography is distributed between two phases. One is the stationary phase and second one is the mobile phase. Clear? So here when the components are passed through the system. So ഇവിടെ ഈ system എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്? It consists of both the mobile phase as well as the stationary phase. So here when the components present in plants or natural products are passed through these systems at different rates, then they became separated at in time. എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ സോ ഇതിനകത്തൂടെ ഡിഫറെന്റ് റേറ്റ്സിലാണ് പാസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അതിന് സമയത്തിനനുസരിച്ച് ആദ്യം കുറെ സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ആവും, കുറച്ചുകൂടെ കഴിയുമ്പോഴേക്കും അടുത്തത്, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ടൈമിനനുസരിച്ചാണ് ഇവിടെ സെപ്പറേഷൻസ് നടക്കുന്നത്. സോ ദിസ് ഇസ് ദ ബേസിക് പ്രിൻസിപ്പിൾ. ക്ലിയർ? സോ ഹിയർ when the components are passed through the system, that is mobile as well as stationary phase, at different rates, then they became separated in time. So this is a basic principle involved in chromatography. So ഇതാണ് ഇതിന്റെ ഒരു ജനറൽ ഇൻട്രൊഡക്ഷൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. So it is a technique of separation of mixtures and it is invented by the Russian pharmacognosist, that is Mikhail Svet. Then this technique is widely used for the analysis as well as separation of natural products. Then two phases were there in chromatography. One is the stationary phase and second one is the mobile phase. And when the components are passed through these system of stationary as well as mobile phase at different rates, they became separated in time. Clear? Okay. Now, so each component, so here, so I already told that the components may get separated on time if it is passed through this system of mobile as well as stationary phase. Clear? So when the substance is passing through the mobile as well as stationary phase, then the components may get separated on the basis of time. Okay, so here each components present in an extract will be having a characteristic time of passage through the system. Okay, so ഇവിടെ system എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോഴേക്കും mobile as well as stationary phase ആണ്. So every component has a characteristic time of passage through the system. അതായത് ഒരു particular time മാത്രമേ അതിനകത്തൂടെ അത് പാസ് ചെയ്യുള്ളൂ, അത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ. So every component has a characteristic time of passage through the system, and this characteristic time of passage through the system is known as the retention time. So retention time. So retention time is the characteristic time of passage of every component through the mobile phase as well as the stationary phase. So that is known as the retention time. So each component will be having a particular time of passage through the system, and this particular time of passage through the mobile as well as the stationary phase is known as the retention time. Clear? Okay. Now chromatographic separation is achieved when the retention time of the analyte differs from the retention time of other components. That is, in a plant extract, different types of plant components were present. Clear? So every component will be having a particular time of passage or retention time through this system. When the retention time of one sample differs from the retention time of other sample, then that particular sample may get separated. So this is a basic principle involved in chromatography. Clear? So here chromatographic separation is achieved when the retention time of the analyte, analyte means here the sample which you are going to separate. So when the retention time of analyte differs from that of other components, then it may get separated. So this is a basic principle of chromatography. That is, every compound will be having a particular time of passage through the system, and this particular time of passage of all the components through the system of mobile as well as stationary phase is known as the retention time. Clear? And here this chromatographic separation may be achieved when the retention time of one compound differs from that of the other compound. That is, when the retention time of analyte differs from that of other compound, then the chromatographic separation may achieve. Okay, so this is how separation take place in chromatography. എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഒരു സാധനത്തിന്റെ റിട്ടൻഷൻ ടൈം മറ്റതിനേക്കാളും മാറി നിൽക്കുമ്പോഴേക്കും ആ സാധനം ആദ്യം അങ്ങ് സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ആവും. അങ്ങനെയാണ് chromatographic separation ഇവിടെ നടക്കുന്നത്. ക്ലിയർ? ഓക്കെ. സോ if a compound, കുറച്ചുകൂടെ ക്ലിയർ ആയിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, if a compound is having lesser affinity towards a stationary phase, then it will be separating fast. Clear? So I already told that two phases are there. One is a mobile phase and second one is a stationary phase. Clear? And if the compound is having lesser affinity towards a stationary phase, then it may get separated, means initially, or separated fast. Clear? So if a compound is having lesser affinity towards a stationary phase, then it will be getting separated. Or so that is, every compound will be having a particular time of passage through the system, and this particular time of passage is known as a retention time, and the chromatographic separation is achieved when the retention time of analyte differs from that of the other components. Clear? Now, if a compound is having lesser affinity towards the stationary phase, so this is one part of the system, the other is mobile phase. Okay, so here if a compound is having lesser affinity towards the stationary phase, then that will be separated fast, not first, it will be separated fast. Clear? So this is another principle of chromatography. Clear? Now we can see about the different chromatographic techniques. So I already just given a brief idea about this different type of chromatographic techniques. So ഇനി അതെന്തൊക്കെയാണെന്ന് പറയാം, അതാണ് നമ്മൾ ഇനി ഇവിടെ പഠിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത്. So regarding your exam point of view, sometimes an essay question may be asked like this: explain about the principles involved in different chromatographic techniques. Then you have to write the entire things under the section chromatography. And in some cases, the question will be like this: write about HPLC, HPTLC, thin layer chromatography, paper chromatography, etc. for 5 marks. That time you have to write that part alone. So before that, first you have to give an introduction to chromatography, then you have to go to the particular question which is asked. Clear? So sometimes definition of each and every chromatographic techniques will be asking for a 2-mark question. That time you have to just write 1 or 2 sentences regarding that part. Clear? So chance questions. So now we can see about the different chromatographic techniques. So first one is paper chromatography. This is the most simple type of chromatography. Paper chromatography. So second one is thin layer chromatography, or it can be abbreviated as TLC. Okay. So first is paper chromatography or PC. So paper chromatography can be abbreviated as PC. Okay. Second one is thin layer chromatography or TLC. Then third one is high performance thin layer chromatography. It can be abbreviated as HPTLC, high performance thin layer chromatography. Now the fourth one is column chromatography or CC, column chromatography. Now the next one is HPLC or high performance liquid chromatography. So high performance liquid chromatography, so it is high performance liquid, LI. So this one is high performance liquid chromatography. So or HPLC or high performance liquid chromatography. Just 1 second, I will correct it. High performance liquid ആണ്. So high performance liquid chromatography or HPLC. Okay. So now the next one is gas chromatography or GC. So gas chromatography. So then the last one is flash chromatography, etc. So different types of other chromatographic techniques were also available. So these are the popular type of chromatographic techniques. First one is paper chromatography, then thin layer chromatography or TLC, then high performance thin layer chromatography or HPTLC, then column chromatography or CC, then high performance liquid chromatography or HPLC, so then gas chromatography, then flash chromatography, etc. So these are the different chromatographic techniques. So every technique means every type of chromatographic techniques will be having its own working principle also. That also you'll be studying in detail in each and every section. Clear? So different types of chromatographic techniques. This is 2 mark and you have to write all the things. That is paper chromatography, thin layer chromatography, then high performance thin layer chromatography or HPTLC, then column chromatography, high performance liquid chromatography or HPLC, then gas chromatography and flash chromatography, etc. So in the chromatographic techniques detail. So first we can see about paper chromatography. So from the name itself, this chromatographic technique uses paper as one of the system. Clear? So we are studying about paper chromatography. So this paper chromatography is the simplest of all the type of chromatographic technique. It is a very simple technique. So the paper chromatography is the most simplest type of chromatography, and the basic principle of paper chromatography is partition. So it is a partition type of chromatography. So paper chromatography is the simplest of all the different type of chromatographic technique, and it is a type of partition chromatography. Clear? So here the components of the extract or the sample which you are going to separate is distributed between two liquids. Okay. So here so here the components which you are going to separate, that is components of the extracts, are distributed between two different liquids. Clear? So paper chromatography is the simplest type of chromatographic technique, and it is a type of partition chromatography, and here the components of the extracts are distributed between two liquids. Okay. So അത് മറക്കരുത്. So ആ ലിക്വിഡിൽ ഒരെണ്ണം സ്റ്റേഷനറിയും മറ്റത് മൊബൈലും ആണ്. അത് ഞാൻ ഇപ്പോൾ പറയാം. So here the components of the extracts are distributed between two liquids, and here first one is a stationary liquid. One is a stationary liquid or the stationary phase, and this is the water that is held on the fibers of the paper. Cellulose on the paper. അതിനകത്തുള്ള water ആണ് stationary liquid എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, or stationary phase എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. So I already told that. So the extract which you are going to separate in paper chromatography is distributed between two liquids. One is the mobile phase and second one is the stationary phase. So first one is the stationary liquid, and here the stationary liquid is the water which is held by the fibers of the paper. That is water content that is present inside the cellulose. Okay. So cellulose is present in paper, and this one is a stationary liquid. One is the stationary liquid, that is the water which is held on the fibers of the paper, and the second one is the mobile phase or the moving liquid, that is the mobile phase. So mobile phase you will be preparing. So this is the second phase. Clear? So it is the simplest type of chromatographic technique, and it is a type of partition chromatography, and here the components of the extracts are distributed between two liquids, and first one is a stationary liquid, and that is the water which is held on the fibers of the paper, and second one is a moving liquid or the mobile phase. And here the components of mixture may migrate at different rates. Okay. So I already told that this extract will be distributed between mobile phase as well as a stationary phase, and here the stationary phase is paper, and more clearly the water content which is present inside the paper will be acting as a stationary liquid. Clear? So here the components of the mixture will be migrating at different rates sorry, and it will be appearing as spots at different points on the paper, because here paper will be acting as the stationary phase. അത് നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞാണ്, പേപ്പറിനകത്തുള്ള വാട്ടർ ആണ് ആക്ച്വൽ സ്റ്റേഷനറി ഫേസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. സോ എന്നിട്ട് മൊബൈൽ ഫേസിൽ ഇത് എടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? The components of the mixture will be migrating at different rates, and then it will be appearing as spots at different points on the paper. Clear? So either suppose this one is a paper. This is a paper, and here you will be going to apply the sample like this. Then after applying the sample, it should be dried. Then this is a developing or chromatographic tank, and here it will be having the mobile phase. So mobile phase will be here up to this mark. So mobile phase is a liquid. So this is a mobile phase. This one is a mobile phase. Just 1 second. This is a mobile phase, and this one is a paper, and this paper will be acting as a stationary phase. This P is the paper, and it will be acting as a stationary phase, and here you will be applying the sample. Then this time this will be moving upwards. Clear? So the components of the mixture will be migrating at different rate, and it will be appearing as spots. First spot will be like this, and second spot like this. So and so on. Okay, ഇങ്ങനെ spot ആയിട്ട് ഇതിനകത്ത് കാണാൻ പറ്റും. Different spots means at different points on the paper. That is, components of the mixture will be migrating at different rates, and it will be appearing as spots at different points on the paper. Clear? And generally Whatman filter paper of different grade, that is paper chromatography grade Whatman filter paper, will be using as a chromatographic paper. So first thing is, components of the mixture will be migrating at different rates, and it will be appearing as spots at different points on the paper. See the diagram, there you can understand. So from this you will be understanding an idea about this one. Then here Whatman filter paper of different grades will be used as chromatographic paper. Clear? And last part about this paper chromatography is regarding the application. So this technique is mainly used for the separation of amino acids. It is used in the separation of amino acids, you will be studying this in your practical labs also. That is separation of amino acids. In laboratory classes also you are going to study. That is paper chromatography of amino acid. That time you will be getting a more clear idea regarding this paper chromatography. Okay. So the major application of paper chromatography, first one is it is used in the separation of amino acids. Then the second one is it is used in the identification of natural products. So here identification means, so it will be comparing with the standard. That time you have to apply two spots. One is a standard and second one is a sample. Then keep it in the mobile phase, and after development, if both are showing same spots, then you can confirm the identity of that sample. So that is the second application of paper chromatography. That is, it's used in the identification of natural products. Clear? So first thing is separation of amino acids. Second thing is identification of natural products. And the third application is, so it is used for the detection of impurities present in the natural products. So it is used in the detection of impurities present in the natural products. So if it is a pure sample, then it will be showing only one spot in paper chromatography. And if that sample showing more than one type of spots, then you can confirm that that sample will be having some sort of impurities. So this paper chromatography can be used in the detection of impurities present in the natural products. Clear? So that is about paper chromatography. So upon the end, it is a simplest of all the type of chromatography, and the principle is partition. Botman filter paper of different grades will be using. So here two phases are there. One is a mobile phase and second one is a stationary phase. So here mobile phase is a liquid only, and stationary phase is also the liquid, that is a water droplets which is present inside the paper. Clear? So the sample will be distributed between these two phases based on the affinity. It will be moving upwards and get separated. Clear? So Whatman filter paper of different grades will be using as a chromatographic paper. And regarding the application, it is used in the separation of amino acids, then identification of natural products, then detection of impurities in natural products, etc. So that is about paper chromatography. Clear? So now we can say about the next type of chromatography, that is thin layer chromatography. So this is the second type of chromatography, that is thin layer chromatography, and this is widely used as well as fast technique for the qualitative analysis of mixture of compounds. Clear? So we already studied that paper chromatography is a simple technique, but it is somewhat time consuming. Clear? But thin layer chromatography is widely used as well as it is a fastest technique for the qualitative analysis of a mixture of compounds. Clear? Sorry. So thin layer chromatography is a widely used as well as fast technique for the qualitative analysis of a mixture of compounds. Clear? Now, so here the stationary phase consists of a thin layer of adsorbent. So stationary phase is composed of a thin layer of adsorbent like silica gel, alumina or cellulose. So silica gel, alumina or cellulose. Silica gel, alumina or cellulose, and this is coated on a flat carrier like glass plate, aluminum foil or a plastic sheet. So stationary phase നമ്മൾ മറ്റടുത്ത് പറഞ്ഞ water തന്നെയായിരുന്നു ഏത് paper chromatography. But here in thin layer chromatography, the stationary phase is composed of a thin layer of adsorbent like silica gel, alumina, cellulose, etc. And these things are coated on a flat carrier substance like a glass plate, aluminum foil or a plastic sheet. അങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇവിടെ stationary phase ഉണ്ടാക്കിയെടുക്കുന്നത്. Clear? So thin layer chromatography is widely used as well as fastest technique for the qualitative analysis of a mixture of compounds. Clear? And here the stationary phase is composed of a thin layer of adsorbent like silica gel, then alumina or cellulose, and it is coated on a flat carrier like glass plate, aluminum foil or plastic sheet, etc. Clear? Then the main advantage of TLC or paper chromatography is that, so here the fractions can be affected more rapidly with smaller quantities of mixture. So in paper chromatography, the fractionation can be occurred only means at lesser intervals. That is means the rate of fractionation in paper chromatography is very slow. But in thin layer chromatography, the fractionation can be affected more rapidly with comparatively smaller quantities of sample or the mixture. So there the sample required is somewhat huge, but here very small amount of sample is only required in thin layer chromatography, and the fractionations can be affected more rapidly also. Clear? So thin layer chromatography is the most widely used as well as fastest technique, and it is used for the qualitative analysis of a mixture of compounds. Clear? Then here, the stationary phase is composed of a thin layer of adsorbent like silica gel, alumina or cellulose, and it should be coated on a flat carrier substance like glass plate, aluminum foil, plastic sheet, etc. Then the major advantage of thin layer chromatography or paper chromatography, here the fractionation in thin layer chromatography can be affected more rapidly with smaller quantities of mixture. Clear? And also the separated spots are usually more compact and can be more clearly demarcated from one another. So അതായത് ഇതാണ് thin layer chromatographyയുടെ ഒരു plate എന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചു. So here if you are applying the sample, then the spots can be clearly demarcated. First spots like this, then second spot you can see after some times only some gap is there, then also here a demarcation. So clearly these two spots can be marked. So but paper chromatography ആണെങ്കിൽ overlap ചെയ്ത് ഇവിടെ ഒരെണ്ണം വരാം, അതിനെ തൊട്ടടുത്ത് ഇങ്ങനെ വേറൊന്നും കൂടെയൊക്കെ വരാം. So but thin layer chromatography ആണെങ്കിൽ demarcation correct ആയിട്ട് affect ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. Clear? So and also, so that is a major advantage of thin layer chromatography. Here the separated spots are usually more compact and it can be more clearly demarcated from one another. Okay, so this is yet another advantage of thin layer chromatography. Okay, so now the TLC plates എങ്ങനെ prepare ചെയ്യുന്നുള്ള കാര്യമാണ് പറയുന്നത്. So the TLC plates can be prepared by mixing the adsorbent with small amount of inert binder like gypsum and water. അതായത് അഡ്സോർബൻ്റ് എടുക്കുക, അതിനകത്ത് ബൈൻഡർ ജിപ്സോ അങ്ങനെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ആഡ് ചെയ്യുക, എന്നിട്ട് വാട്ടറും ആഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ടാണ് ഈ പ്ലേറ്റ്സ് നമ്മൾ പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് മുമ്പുള്ള സാധനം ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന സിലിക്ക ജെല്ലിന്റെ സ്ലറി പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യുന്നത് എങ്ങനെയാണ്. സോ ദ TLC plates can be prepared by mixing the adsorbent with small amount of inert binder like gypsum, water, etc. And this adsorbent should be made in the form of a slurry or liquid, means liquid അല്ല ഒരു suspension slurry രൂപത്തിൽ ഇതിനാക്കി എടുക്കണം. And it should be spread uniformly on the carrier, that is plate, a glass plate or aluminum foil അങ്ങനെ നേരത്തെ നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ. So it should be spread uniformly on the plate and that should be activated by using a hot air oven. So ഇവിടെ normally activate ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ in a hot air oven you have to keep the plate and heat it at a temperature of 110 degrees Celsius for a period of around 45 minutes, 45 to 1 hour വരെ വെച്ചിട്ടാണ് ഇതിനെ ആക്ടിവേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. 110 ഡിഗ്രി സെൽഷ്യസിൽ 45 മിനിറ്റ്സ് ടു 1 hour വരെ വെച്ച് ഇതിനെ ആക്ടിവേറ്റ് ചെയ്യും. ക്ലിയർ? So the TLC plates are prepared by mixing the adsorbent with small amount of inert binders like gypsum as well as water. Then it should be made in the form of a slurry and this slurry should be spread uniformly on the plate, and after spreading it uniformly on the plate should be activated by keeping it in a hot air oven at a temperature not exceeding 110 degrees Celsius for a period of minimum 45 minutes to 1 hour. Clear? Okay, so then the sample should be applied in small concentration in the plate and then it should be kept in the mobile phase. Okay, so അതായത് ഇതാണ് നമ്മുടെ ആ പ്ലേറ്റ് എന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചു. So suppose this is a plate. So after this is an activated plate and after activation the sample should be applied like this as a spot. Then it should be dipped in the mobile phase. So in the chamber which containing the mobile phase, just like paper chromatography only. So then it will be getting എന്താണ് developed. So that is this phase will be moving upwards and on time the sample will be getting separated, and here you can see different type of spots also. Clear? So the sample is applied in small concentration and develop the plate in the mobile phase. Clear? Then the spots can be after this. So in many of the cases the separated spots cannot be visualized with the help of naked eyes. Sometimes you can clearly visualize the spots with the help of eye, but if it is not visualizing with the help of naked eye, then that can be visualized by the help of some spraying agents or spraying visualizing agents. So this visualizing agent should have to be sprayed above the TLC plate. That time the spots alone can be visualized. Clear? So the spots can be visualized by spraying visualizing agents എന്തൊക്കെയാണ്? Like vanillin sulfuric acid, then phosphomolybdic acid, drag and drop reagent, etc. So based on this the spots can be visualized. So the spots can be visualized by spraying any visualizing agents like vanillin sulfuric acid, then phosphomolybdic acid, drag and drop reagent, etc. Or also it can be visualized with the help of UV chamber or iodine chamber. As UV, long UV, short UV, 356 and 250. 60 means exactly എനിക്ക് ഇപ്പോൾ ഓർമ്മ വരുന്നില്ല. 356 ആണെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു, അല്ല 256ഉം 340 ആ നാനോമീറ്ററിലും ഇത് വിഷ്വലൈസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. അത് എക്സാക്ട് അല്ല, ക്ലിയർ അല്ല, ഞാൻ പിന്നീട് പറഞ്ഞുതരാം. സോ എന്തായാലും ഷോർട്ട് യു വിയിലും ലോങ് യു വിയിലും ഇത് വിഷ്വലൈസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. ക്ലിയർ? So the spots can be visualized by spraying visualizing agents like vanillin sulfuric acid, then phosphomolybdic acid, drag and drop reagent, etc. with the help of UV or iodine chamber. Clear? Or with the help of UV or iodine chamber. Clear? So ഇങ്ങനെയാണ് TLC പ്ലേറ്റ് പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. So it can be prepared by mixing the sample with എന്താണ് adsorbent with any inert binder like gypsum and water. Then a slurry should be prepared and it should be spread it uniformly above the plate. And after that it should be activated by keeping it in an hot air oven at a temperature of 110 degrees Celsius for a period of minimum 45 to 1 hour. Clear? 45 minutes to 1 hour. Then the sample should be, after activation, the sample should be applied in small concentration and keep it in the developing phase or developing tank which contains a mobile phase. Now the spots can be visualized sometimes by the help of naked eye, and more clearly it cannot be visualized with the help of naked eye. In that case you can visualize the spots by spraying any visualizing agents like vanillin sulfuric acid, then phosphomolybdic acid, drag and drop reagents, etc. or with the help of UV chamber, again or with the help of iodine chamber. So now we can see about the different applications of thin layer chromatography. So first application is it is used in the identification of natural products. Identification നമ്മൾ paper chromatography പറഞ്ഞാണൊക്കെയാണ്, it should be compared with the standard, and if both the spots are having the same RF value, so ഈ RF ഒക്കെ എന്താണെന്നുള്ളത് നമ്മൾ practically പഠിക്കും, so then you can confirm that that given sample is this one. Clear? So it is used in the identification of natural products. Then the second application is it is used in the detection of impurities. If it is a pure sample, then that will be showing only one spot, and if it is impure, it will be showing more than one type of spot. So it is used in the detection of impurities. Now the third application is preparative TLC. So here preparative TLC, and this is used for the separation of compounds present in the extract. So apart from analytical purpose, so first two application is analytical purpose. So these two are, that is first two are qualitative analysis purpose, and this preparative TLC can be used in the separation of compounds present in the extract directly. Okay, so adhi namak isolate chededukanayittu preparative TLC use cheyyam. So first application TLC used for the identification of natural products. So identification spelling oda oru CA ullu. Okay, so it is used in the identification of natural products. Second thing is it is used in the detection of impurities. Third thing is preparative TLC can be used for the separation of compounds present in the extract. Clear? So then the last or the fourth application is, so it is used for the determination of purity of the isolated compound. അത് നമ്മൾ ഇങ്ങനെ തന്നെ സ്പോട്ട് ആയിട്ട് അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്ത് ടിൻ ലെയർ ക്രോമാറ്റോഗ്രാഫി ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴേക്കും അത് പ്യൂർ ആണെങ്കിൽ ഒരൊറ്റ സ്പോട്ടേ കിട്ടുള്ളൂ. So it is used in the determination of purity of the isolated compound. So these are the various applications of thin layer chromatography. So the first application is TLC is used for the identification of natural products. Second thing is it is used in the detection of impurities. Third thing is it is used for the preparative TLC, and that is used for the separation of compounds present in the extract. And the last application is it is used in the determination of purity of the isolated compound. Clear? So now we can see about the next type of chromatographic technique, that is third type of chromatography, that is high performance thin layer chromatography. It can also be abbreviated as HPTLC. Okay, so or the high performance thin layer chromatography. So this is a powerful as well as a reliable method for the qualitative as well as quantitative analysis of natural product. So high performance thin layer chromatography is a powerful as well as a reliable method for the qualitative as well as quantitative analysis of natural products. Clear? So high performance thin layer chromatography is a powerful as well as a reliable method for the qualitative and quantitative analysis of natural product. Okay. Now second point is it is also known as planar chromatography or instrumental TLC. So it is an advanced version of thin layer chromatography. So we can say that this one is instrumental TLC or planar chromatography. Planar chromatography അങ്ങനെയും പറയാറുണ്ട്. Clear? Now the principle of HPTLC is also same as that of TLC. Retention time അനുസരിച്ച് means separate ആവുന്നു അത്രയാണ്. So principle of HPTLC is also same as that of TLC. Clear? Now here the sample to be analyzed is to be applied to the pre-coated plates in the form of either band or spot. Spot എന്താണെന്നുള്ള കാര്യം നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞു. ഇങ്ങനെ ജസ്റ്റ് ഇതാണ്, suppose this one is a TLC plate or preparative means HPTLC plate. So this is a spot. ഇതിനെയാണ് ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള സ്പോട്ട് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. So it can be applied as bands also. Band എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു ലോങ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു സംഭവം അടിക്കുന്നു, അതിനെയാണ് ബാൻഡ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. This one is a band. So this is a band. So here the sample can be applied in the form of spots or bands in the pre-coated plates. Clear? So this is a powerful and reliable method for the qualitative as well as quantitative analysis of natural product, and it is also known as planar chromatography or instrumental TLC. So the both principle of both HPTLC as well as TLC are the same only. Then here the sample to be analyzed is applied to the pre-coated plates in the forms of band or spots. Clear? Then sampling can be done with the help of automatic sample applicator. So in TLC we have to manually apply the sample with the help of a capillary tube or a micropipette. We have to manually apply the sample in the case of thin layer chromatography, whereas in HPTLC the sampling can be done with the help of sample applicator. Clear? So pre-coated plates are there. Then here the samples can be applied in the form of bands or spots, and the sample can be done with the help of automatic sampling applicator. Clear? Then after applying the sample, it should be developed as in the case of TLC. TLC-യിൽ എങ്ങനെയാണോ നമ്മൾ ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്തത് അതേപോലെ തന്നെയാണ് HPTLC-യിലും ഈ pre-coated plate ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ബട്ട് ഇവിടെ ഇൻസ്ട്രുമെന്റൽ ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ ഉണ്ടാവും, അത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ. Clear? So HPTLC is a powerful and reliable technique, and this is used in the qualitative as well as in the quantitative analysis of natural products. Then it is also known as planar chromatography or instrumental TLC. Then the principle of HPTLC is same as that of TLC. Then the sample to be analyzed is to be applied in the pre-coated plates. So here pre-coated plates ആണ്. TLC-യിലാണെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ തന്നെ പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യുന്ന പ്ലേറ്റ് ആണ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. But here it is pre-coated plates. So here the sample to be analyzed is applied to the pre-coated plates in the form of bands or spots. Clear? Then the sampling can be done with the help of automatic sampling applicator. Then after applying the sample, it should be developed as in the case of TLC. TLC-യിൽ എങ്ങനെയാണോ ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് അതേപോലെ തന്നെ ഇവിടെയും അങ്ങ് ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്താൽ മതി. Okay, so now the spots after developing means here also you have to visualize the spots. Clear? So here the spots present in the pre-coated plates can be evaluated by scanning in a densitometer with the help of UV or visible light. So here a densitometer, this is another type of instrument in this one, and this densitometer can be used for scanning the spots, and this densitometer works with the help of UV as well as visible spectrum. So the spots present in the plate can be evaluated by scanning in a densitometer with the help of either UV or visible spectrum. So that is how the spots present in the pre-coated plates of HPTLC can be visualized. Clear? So the spots can be evaluated by scanning in a densitometer with the help of either UV or visible spectrum. Clear? So now the absorbance of fluorescence can be measured by diffused reflectance. The principle ആണ്. So absorbance of fluorescence can be measured with the help of diffused reflectance. So ഇതൊക്കെ ഇൻസ്ട്രുമെന്റിൽ നിന്ന് കിട്ടുന്നതാണ്. So the fluorescence absorption, that is absorbance of fluorescence of the sample, can be measured by the diffused reflectance. And this HPTLC instruments are provided with photo documentation system. അതായത് ആ പ്ലേറ്റിന്റെ ഫോട്ടോ നമുക്ക് എടുത്ത് സൂക്ഷിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. So these instruments are provided with photo documentation system. That is HPTLC instruments are always provided with always എന്ന് പറയാനില്ല. So are provided with photo documentation system. Clear? Now the main advantage of HPTLC is that it is environmental friendly as well as cost effective. So കൊടുക്കുന്ന പൈസ മുതലാവുമെന്ന് പറയില്ല, അതാണ് ഇതിനകത്ത് പറയുന്നത്. So that is a major advantage of HPTLC or high performance thin layer chromatography. It is environmental friendly, അതായത് വേസ്റ്റേജ് പുറത്തോട്ടൊന്നും കളയുന്നില്ല, and also it is cost effective. Clear? So here the spots can be evaluated by scanning in a densitometer with the help of either UV or visible spectrum. Clear? Now the absorbance of fluorescence can be measured by diffused reflectance. Then HPTLC instruments are provided with photo documentation systems. Then the major advantage of HPTLC is that it is environmental friendly as well as cost effective. Now we can see about the different applications of HPTLC. So this technique is mainly used as a confirmatory method. Okay, so it is mainly used as a confirmatory method as it is based on different separation mechanism than TLC. Okay, so it is having different separation mechanism than TLC. This HPTLC technique can be used as a confirmatory method. So HPTLC technique can be used as a confirmatory method as it is based on a different separation mechanism than the TLC. Clear? Now, second thing is densitometric scanning of the individual or all the fractions can be repeated with the same or different parameters. Clear? So TLC visualize. But here densitometric scanning of the individual or all the fractions can be repeated with either the same or different parameters or with different parameters. So that is densitometric scanning of individual or all the fractions can be repeated with either the same or with different parameters since all the fractions remain stored in the plate. A plate then a sample fractions on the scanning can be chemical interference on the so the scanning of the individual or all the fractions can be repeated with either the same parameter or with different parameters on the same plate itself because all the fractions are remain stored in the same plate. It's clear. So now it is used in pharmaceutical industry for the study of content uniformity and other quality control analysis. So correct application. So that's a major application or the first application. It is used in pharmaceutical industry for the study of content uniformity and other quality control analysis. So that is a major application of HPLC. That is, it is used in the pharmaceutical industry for the study of content uniformity as well as other quality control analysis. Clear? Now, second application is it is used in the estimation of purity means estimation of purity of natural products, herbals as well as botanicals. That pure or impure or so it is used for determination of purity of natural products, herbals, botanicals, etc. Clear? Now, the third application is besides pharmaceutical industry, that is apart from pharmaceutical industry, this technique is also widely used in pesticide industry, then biochemical research as well as environmental research. So these are the various applications of HPTLC. So the first one is used in pharmaceutical industry for the study of content uniformity and other quality control analysis. Then second application is it is used in the estimation of purity analysis of natural products, then herbals as well as botanicals. Then the third application is besides pharmaceutical industry, that is apart from pharmaceutical industry, it is also widely used in pesticide industry, then biochemical research as well as environmental research. So that is about HPTLC. About this audio means video what is chromatography, then what is thin layer paper chromatography, then about thin layer chromatography, and finally about HPTLC. So the remaining thing you will be seeing in the next video. Okay, so thank you for the time being.